5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now, there was a football game between Huntington North and Northside High School. And Huntington North started calling Northside football players porch monkeys. And I think that if you say porch monkey, you have to say nigga. In there someplace, it has to fit in there. You can't say one without the other. And people became, Northside became upset about that. And our superintendent here in Fort Wayne said that she and the Huntington School superintendent were going to get together and make that into an educational moment. But again, what's hilarious about that is when Northside became called porch monkeys, everybody forgot the fact that they used to call Central those same kind of names.
Sure.
So why don't we ever use use our real history to put ourselves into a intellectual perspective so that we can better understand ourselves and where we're going? You know, and I think that kind of justifies when you said that people want racism and want to keep us divided, but I don't think so, but enlighten me.
Okay, well, when you talk about this football game and all these racial slurs being tossed around, so you're going to have some black guys being called nigger?
By the school in Huntington, and it was a black athletes on Northside's team at the time.
Okay, so you got some black guys
They're called porch monkey.
being called porch monkey or nigger. Okay. Now, you know, I'm black, African American, chocolate, whatever you want to call me. I've been called nigger ever since I was a little kid. It's no big deal. I don't care. Now, if somebody wants to say, oh, I'm going to say whatever I want, and if I'm a comedian, I can say nigger all the time, whatever. But if a white guy says it, I'm just supposed to instantly get mad or scared. It's completely dumb. Now, have you listened to the music that these young brothers are listening to? Have you heard the music?
Oh, absolutely.
So let's stop for a moment. Think about the lyrical content. How many times do you hear nigger? How many times do you hear these mugs just hate women? They don't want to work. They want to be involved in all this crime and all this really homosexual behavior. These guys with their pants back down, so you can see their underwear.
Hold it.
Well, why doesn't somebody tell these young brothers that actually comes from the effeminate guys in prison? They do that to let you know about the access that may be available to you. And so we can't get anybody telling these brothers out this here in the streets. You won't hear it. And when I talk about this same-sex stuff, your NFL, your NBA, openly same-sex organizations, openly homosexual. With the NBA, you should see it clearly. You got the NBA, all men. You got the WNBA, all women, same sex, homosexual. It's right there. I can't wait until Jim Brown moves from CBS Sports to CBS News as the anchor, and then he's talking to Dr. Drew Pinsky, letting you know that your professional sports is same-sex, gay, homosexual by nature. And so again, with these kids, yeah, everybody's going to say, well, this nigger and porch monkey stuff's so terrible. But if you'd actually take their Beats headphones, some of these brothers, these kids, and put them on, you'd hear some of the most vile nonsense you're ever going to lay your ears on. But somehow, one of these white guys says it, we're supposed to be mad, like Richie Incognito from the Miami Dolphins, talking about how he wants to just shit in a guy's mouth. You half nigger piece of shit. And then we're going to find out, wow, these athletes in the locker rooms, they curse? They use this gay and lesbian and racial talk? Really? They use that in the locker room? I remember as a kid, all the quasi-homo stuff just going on in these locker rooms. Guys putting their thing in between their legs, walking around, peeing on each other in the showers. That's why I couldn't stand sports in high school. All this, what you would call now just gay behavior, but it's all these macho men. So again, nobody telling these kids the truth. And so when you hear nigger from some football team, get mad. But if you hear from Cat Williams, Eddie Murphy, any of these comedians, you hear from any of these rappers, well, maybe you'll just give them some money. Maybe you get a platinum hit out of that.
Where I was going with that, I can agree with you with the rappers and what have you, but
should they be banned? So Jay-Z and all these mugs calling people niggers, should they have to stop? Should we be offended? Let's put it that way. Should we be offended?
My point in bringing that up is that's different than superintendents of public school systems saying that they want to use that kind of a incident as an education opportunity.
To learn what?
To learn the
That there's
level
racism out here?
Well,
There is racism out here. These kids, again, when I was in first grade, the summer after first grade, well, yeah, when I go to Holy Spirit, I'm going to have all these multiracial friends. But living on Gay Street, well, got mostly black friends, right? But I have a birthday party. The last birthday party I had, but I invite friends from school, friends from the neighborhood. By the end of that day, friends from the neighborhood calling me a hunky lover. And so I'm getting this education first and second grade. And so if these kids now, if they're going to get their feelings hurt because somebody says nigger, I can't help you. Go ahead and wither away. Go ahead and cry. Go ahead and have your forum. You can get together and everybody can just cuddle each other and just talk about, oh, it's so bad somebody called you nigger. But then you can go say, hey, my nigga. What's up, my nigga? Nigga. You can just say it. But we're supposed to be mad here, not mad over here. So nigger, is it a term of endearment? Or is it a term that is derogatory? Or is it both?
And that's where the education superintendents can come in and put a perspective on that as the education gods in the community.
That is a perspective. That's it.
Of doing nothing and ignoring the issue for 5, 6, 7 years.
Ignoring what?
That whole issue of that incident that they wanted to use as an education opportunity, which they haven't said a peep since.
Well, you realize, like in this football stuff, these guys are saying all sorts of stuff on the field.
You're trying
locally. You're trying to get into your opponent's head. If you can get them thinking about anything but the game, if you can get them thinking about their girlfriend or their mom or some race stuff, well, suddenly you're not thinking about your quarterback throwing you the ball.
Oh, I understand that.
And so, if you're going to have a bunch of athletes that they just can't control their tempers, again, I can't help those monks. I can't. And if they want to be involved in their little same-sex games and then cry like a bunch of babies because somebody calls them a name, I can't help them. I got no help for that.
Specifically, as clearly as I can make the statement, I'm referring to a white superintendent from Huntington and a black superintendent here in Fort Wayne coming together publicly to discuss the whole subject of race and racism.
Well, what did they say? What came from this discussion?
Nothing. It's been swept under the rug.
Well, again, there's nothing to come from it. It's obvious.
But you can't say it's obvious because there's a question. As long as there's questions, it's not obvious because it's our job to ask questions about why aren't they putting some type of intelligence on this that's objective.
Well, what? I don't know what should happen. Now, do you remember when Dr. Laura Schlesinger, a couple of years ago, she's going to have a black woman who calls, and she's bummed because she's married to a white guy, and she's getting tired of all these dumb questions about race from her husband's white friends. She says, well, I just can't stand it. Sometimes I even use the N-word, I can't stand it. But Dr. Laura's going to say, well, this N-word stuff, black guys using it all the time. All these comedians, nigger, nigger, nigger. Well, the next day, Dr. Laura had to apologize for talking about it, just for bringing it up. And then she quit, just saying, look, I need freedom of speech, so I just got to quit my job. Now, you're going to find that we can't have a rational discussion about this stuff. We can't, because people don't understand the meanings of these words. And if you got a word like nigger, is it a derogatory term? Or is it a term of endearment? The answer is it is both. It is both a good word and a bad word. Where do we go from there?